Look at this dude.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Joe, and today we're going to be taking a look at the third addition to the Super Troop lineup coming to Clash of Clans in the Spring 2020 update. Now, we got ourselves the Super Giant over here looking like a cross between the WWE's Big Show and Sheamus. Somehow managed to get himself some hair with a nice comb over, and he's rocking himself a championship belt for an annual Village Eating contest. I don't even know how that works out, but all jokes aside, this is a developer build. This is not my real account, so anything that you see in this video may or may not change upon the release of the update. So what's so special about the Super Giant in relation to the Standard Giant, other than the fact that he is taller and he did manage to find himself some Rogaine to get a little bit of hair upstairs? He does also have a special ability in the Wall Buster ability, deals increased damage to walls. So this is very similar to the Boxer Giant over on the Builder's Hall side. I mean, they're very, very close. Now, you have to have a Town Hall 12 or Town Hall 13 in order to boost the Giant. It's not available at Town Hall 11. And you have to have the level 9 Giant in order to complete this boost. Now, when we get into some statistical data, we're going to see some significant increases in the damage per second of 66 points, increased up to 130 points, and his hit points are going to jump from 1850 to 4200. So that's a pretty sizable jump for hit points. So he's a really good tanky unit. But again, this also comes at a cost of housing space. He's going to gain 5 additional housing space opposed to the Standard Giant. So you're going to have to bring less of these than what you can do with the regular Giants. So that's just something to take into consideration. Now, when we jump back to the actual price, we're talking a 60,000 Dark Elixir price tag on this bad boy. So let's go ahead and put this guy into action. That way you can see the Wall Buster ability. We're going to select this compartment down here where all these defenses are enclosed inside the wall. Now, everybody knows that a Giant is a defensive seeking troop first. He only targets defenses and basically blocks for the supporting troops like the Wizards and the Goblins and the Wall Breakers and stuff like that. But until we open up that compartment, he will target walls first. And I want you to notice the significant increase in his stats. He's able to take on this cannon a lot longer than what a normal Giant would be able to do. And he's able to beat through this wall a lot faster. So that's realistically what the ability is, to be able to beat through walls opposed to requiring a wall breaker, I suppose. And he's able to get in on a defense and actually take down this mortar prior to being taken out by the cannon. So you get to see the stats increase there. So let's do this instead. Let's just go ahead and spam them all in this location, and we're going to allow them to take on all these defenses. We got some single targets, we got a couple of expos, and we also have to worry about that Eagle artillery. And nobody's going to actually bring an army like this, but I'll tell you what we're going to do. After this, I have a few replays that we're going to take a look at, because I was tying the Super Giant into a Witch Bowler combination army to see what these guys could do opposed to the regular Giants, because that's normally what army everybody ties the Giants into, unless you're doing any type of farming attacks. So you'll notice that these guys were able to crack through and beat down the Eagle artillery, take out both of the Inferno towers very easily, and they were able to cut through walls as if they didn't even exist. So that is a big plus when it comes to that Wall Buster ability. Now, we can use a heal spell in this region over here, and we can drop a rage spell in this location to speed them up and get them through the wall to take down these hidden Teslas. And I mean, wow, dude, that's not too bad. That's really not too bad. Now, this is really up to you as the player whether you value this type of troop for 60,000 Dark Elixir. That is the equivalent price of a lot of hero upgrades, or also the price tag of upgrading a troop in the laboratory. So that's something to think about. And I mean, maybe some of you might actually be maxed out, so this could be a really good thing for you. But they're going to be able to take on all these defenses and move down through the base. We can speed them up in this region here with another rage spell, and let's see if we can get in and take down the town hall prior to all these Giants being taken out. Now, again, defensive seeker, they're going to completely ignore the heroes. The heroes are going to fire upon them, so definitely they have to have some form of supporting troop in order to assist them in taking down bases. But so far, not that bad. Now, obviously no clan castle troops, but you know, regardless, let's just go ahead and drop a heal spell in this region here. And that queen is really far away from her platform. What's she doing all the way over there? That's messed up. She needs to go back to her platform right now. All right, so they're able to get through this region. We're going to go ahead and drop a rage spell. Let's freeze the town hall and see if they can take it down and see whether the Giga Bomb is going to kill them. No, they were able to get away from it quickly. So let's go ahead and get into an actual raid instead. All right, so if you don't recall, I did mention earlier in the video that the Super Giant was only allowed to be unlocked at Town Hall 12 and above. So we're going to be doing some attacking on a Town Hall 12 base, and we have this very generic army with some Super Giants, witches, bowlers, wall wrecker, king, queen. We're going to start out a little bit of queen walking to do some funneling down here on the bottom side of the base, and she's going to be going after whatever's inside the clan castle troops. I made sure that there was an electro dragon there in there, as a matter of fact. But we're going to drop our king on the opposing side, and we're going to use a single Super Giant to block these 3 or 4 different point defenses to give the king some time. And I wanted to see how much damage that troop could take on before being taken out. So he's going to be targeted by an archer tower, 2 cannons, and an X-bow, giving that king some time to clear out multiple buildings and also free up the area over here where we're going to drop the wall wrecker and the rest of our Super Giants. So realistically, the Super Giants are not that bad of a tanky unit. I mean, 4,200 hit points is really a substantial amount of hit points, giving this queen time to clear the clan castle troops, allowing the wall wrecker to cut through the base and get to the compartment where the Eagle artillery is located. And we will have bowlers, witches, and the Super Giants. You're going to notice that they are still very much in there. We got a jump spell placed for them. They're going to last all the way to the back side of this raid. Now they're going to find a tornado trap. That's pretty natural for this town hall level that you have to worry about that thing, but they're going to play a little bit of ring around the rosy, and then they're going to continue to move into the town hall's location. Now we're going to freeze this region, and we're going to use that Grand Warden's ability to preserve the life of these troops and allow the Giants to take down the town hall. They're going to move on over into the hidden Tesla location, as well as taking on some of those wizard towers. So I mean, not too bad to see Super Giants still alive this late in the raid. Most of the time, every time that I've ever used Giants, they normally don't last very long, and they don't normally make it to the end of the raid. So this is a significant increase of stats that you're getting to see here. Now this is, again, whether you feel that you value 60,000 dark elixir in order to boost this troop, that's a question to be made and answered by yourself. But you're going to notice that they did pretty well in this attack, and we're going to be able to 3-star this base. As a matter of fact, I think I will speed it up. That way we can move on into a different raid. Queen's going to backtrack and go after some air set skeleton traps, and we have a single Super Giant beating on a wall. He will eventually be taken out by that Grand Warden's altar, which is natural because that thing's a monster anyways. And then we did leave a building on the bottom side of the base, but regardless, it was a nice 3-star attack with Super Giants leading the way. I went back and watched this replay a moment ago, and I was actually quite impressed by the Super Giant leading the way and basically opening up walls for the witches and bowlers prior to the wall wrecker actually getting there. So we're starting out this raid a little bit different than the previous one, with a little bit of a warden walk over there on the right side of the screen, and we got ourselves a king and a bowler and a wizard. They were trying to clear out and do a little bit of funneling over here on the bottom side of the base to get rid of that Grand Warden's altar, as well as a few additional buildings. Now what we're going to do is we're going to bring all the Giants, as well as the witches and the bowlers and the wall wrecker queen, to come into this location. And what's going to happen here is the wall wreckers targeting the town hall naturally, but our big group of troops are going to power through this location without the assistance of a jump spell. And that's something to really take into consideration with the boxer giant. I almost said boxer giant, the Super Giant leading the way. And they're going to come over to the backside of this base. You got Valkyries and a wall wrecker that's kind of traveling by itself. We dropped a jump spell to speed everything up, get them into the backside of this base, and they're going to take down an Inferno Tower. They got to deal with the Electro Dragon as well as the balloons, and we're going to use the Grand Warden's ability to save the life of the bowlers that just so happen to take down the town hall. But you'll notice that there are some Super Giants still leading the way over here where the Archer Queen's at. So what they're going to do is they're going to basically block for this queen and allow the queen to sneak in and take down additional defenses. So for what they are as a tanking unit, I'm actually quite impressed. They are not really disappointing in that sense, because they're able to move through the base, target the defenses, tie up those defenses, and give the queen and whatever supporting troops time to clear these defenses out, and that's really their main intent. Now you got a little group of bowlers and witches over on the right side that were taking down some remaining defenses, but again, this is what they are, and they're still on the base. They're finding traps, they're taking down defenses, and they're really drawing a lot of the fire for your troops. So I mean, I really kind of wish that this was something that was a little bit more permanent. It wasn't necessarily something that you do for a temporary, upgrade. You do a super giant for a week and then it's cooldown for a week. It really kind of takes away from some of the fun of it. You really, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this just yet. I really and truly don't, because I don't know if I value these troops enough, but they're really phenomenal troops when you really put it into this perspective and see how well they're able to dominate bases. All right, so let's go ahead and finish up this video on this final attack. That way we can show you another example of what these things can do, but realistically they are what they are. It's a super giant, basically a giant with some increased stats. Now what do you guys think about this new super troop edition? Me personally, I'm not exactly 100% sure how I feel about it, to be honest. Like, I was really super excited when I heard about this, when I started seeing it, and we've already seen 3 troops at this point. There is to be a 4th revealed tomorrow, obviously, and it's just one of those things that I'm not entirely sure where this is going. Like, a super troop edition is a temporary troop that's unlocked for a week, and then you have a 7-day cooldown. Some of them are more geared towards the farming armies. This one has a place in multiple types of armies. You could use it in clan war, you could definitely use it in farming, but again, it comes at a serious price. So I don't know exactly how I feel about this new edition, and there's really no telling what direction the game, where Clash of Clans is going with this, to be honest. Like, it's just kind of one of those things that I'm not sure. I'm really and truly not sure. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm going to love or hate the game any more or less. I've always loved this game, and I always enjoyed covering the game. But when it comes to new things, I have a really hard time trying to understand or really comprehend what the overall thought process is there. And for this item in particular, is not a new troop. It's basically just a troop that's currently there, enhanced, and it's kind of like, what is this for? You know what I mean? So if you have any ideas down there, drop it down in the comments below and let us know what you think, because I'm always interested to hear what the viewers think is happening with the game. Now, I did do a little bit of boo-boo in this attack. I waited on the bowlers. I kind of held on to the bowlers till the end of the raid, but you notice that the super giant were able to lead the way and basically block for the archer queen and take down multiple things. As a matter of fact, there's an enemy queen in there that's targeting the super giants, which is basically giving everything time to take her down, and they're going to continue to lead the way. So overall, not a bad addition when it comes to the giant. It really makes the giant look pretty cool when you put it in this perspective, and they're going to make it all the way to the end of the raid. Now I'm going to go ahead and speed it up, that way you can see the end of the raid, but overall I'm not too disappointed with these troops. They're doing very well in a Town Hall 12 scenario. There's really no telling how it's going to look at Town Hall 13 because I didn't get to try it out. But if you enjoyed the content today, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and if you need any additional video support, click one of those links over there. We will see you in the next one, guys. Take care.